Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Mama June Lauren, Pumpkin Iffard breaks silence about breakup. Mama June. Family crisis star Lauren Pumpkin Iffard has broken her silence about the breakup between her and Josh Iffard. The two were together for nearly a decade and married for 6 years. Now they have called it quits, and a lot is going on between the estranged duo, and Pumpkin is having her say. Keep reading for all of the details as to what her truth is. Fans were floored to learn that Lauren Pumpkin Iffard had filed for divorce from Josh Iffard on August 1st, 2024. They appeared to be fairly happy despite all of the sadness the family had gone through over the last year. Pumpkin's eldest sister, Anna Cardwell, was diagnosed with stage 4 adrenal carcinoma, and it was an uphill battle. Sadly, she passed in December 2023, and Josh noted he had never seen his wife in such a dark place. He had hoped she would find her way out, but it was unclear if and when. Shortly after the season ended, Pumpkin filed for divorce, and some felt it was for a storyline. However, Pumpkin was allegedly seeing a man named Darren Kitchens, while Josh had moved on with a pregnant woman named Keely. There have also been rumors that they are swingers and their new partners are very close. With all of this circulating, Pumpkin hopped on her Facebook to speak up for the first time since filing for divorce. She decided to say what she felt necessary, but still kept it vague. She acknowledged she and Josh have been apart for months, and it has not been easy to love and let go. Yet they will always work together for their 4 children, but are not speaking publicly after this statement. Lauren Pumpkin Iffard's followers were immensely supportive. Though Lauren Pumpkin Iffard's followers felt she addressed this perfectly, others were not so sure. They started a Reddit thread believing this was all for a Mama June storyline. Others were not even remotely convinced that Pumpkin wrote this statement. So there are a lot of mixed emotions about this. Time will tell if this was all just a ploy for another season. It would be really sad if they went through a divorce with 4 young children for a storyline and ratings. Lauren Pumpkin Iffard had always been the one in the family to keep things together. She was the glue that held her sisters close and the calming presence that weathered the storms of her mother, June Shannon's, chaotic life. But now the time had come for Pumpkin to speak her truth. The once strong foundation she had built with her husband, Josh Iffard, was crumbling, and the weight of it all was finally too much to bear. For months, fans speculated about the state of Pumpkin and Josh's marriage. Social media had been unusually quiet, with the absence of their usual playful banter and family snapshots raising eyebrows. Rumors swirled, and while the rest of the world speculated, Pumpkin remained silent until now. It was a warm afternoon in Georgia when Pumpkin finally decided to break that silence. She sat on the front porch of her modest home, the very one she and Josh had once dreamed of filling with laughter and love. Now it felt different. The air was thick with unspoken words, and the house, once full of promise, felt hollow. She began her confession on Instagram, knowing that her loyal followers deserved to hear the truth from her. The video was raw and unedited, just Pumpkin, the girl everyone had come to know and love, bearing her soul. "Hey y'all, it's Pumpkin," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "I know there's been a lot of talk, a lot of questions, and I think it's time I clear the air." Pumpkin took a deep breath, the weight of her words already evident in her eyes. "Josh and I have been through so much together," she continued. "We've built a life, brought beautiful babies into this world, and shared so many memories. But sometimes life just doesn't go the way you plan, and that's okay." She paused, gathering her thoughts. The decision to speak out hadn't come easily. For months, she had tried to salvage what was left of their relationship, desperately clinging to the hope that they could somehow find their way back to each other. But the cracks had started to show long before the world noticed. Josh and we're not perfect, and we never pretended to be, Pumpkin admitted, her voice steadying. We were just two kids who fell in love and tried to figure it all out as we went along. But somewhere along the way, we lost sight of what really mattered. The tears that had threatened to spill finally broke free, and Pumpkin wiped them away with the back of her hand. I know some of y'all have noticed that things haven't been right for a while now. And you're right. Josh and I have decided to go our separate ways. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. Pumpkin had known that the breakup was inevitable, but saying it out loud made it real in a way that she hadn't been prepared for. It's been hard, she admitted, her voice cracking. I've cried more tears than I can count, and I've had days where I didn't know how I was gonna make it through. But I have to keep going. For my kids, for myself. The thought of her children brought a small, bittersweet smile to her face. Ella and Bentley are my world, Pumpkin said softly. They don't fully understand what's happening, and I hate that they have to go through this. But I promise I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure they know they're loved, and that this wasn't their fault. Pumpkin's eyes flickered with determination. She had always been a fighter, and she wasn't about to let this breakup define her. This isn't the end for me, she declared. I'm gonna take this time to focus on my kids, on myself, and on what really matters. I'm not giving up on love or happiness. I'm just taking a different path. She looked directly into the camera, addressing her followers with the sincerity they had always appreciated. I want to thank all of y'all who have been there for me, who have sent messages, and who have kept us in your prayers. It means more than you'll ever know. This isn't the end of my story, just a new chapter. As the video ended, Pumpkin leaned back in her chair, feeling a mixture of relief and sadness. The truth was out now, and there was no going back. She had taken the first step toward healing, but the road ahead was still uncertain. In the days that followed, the response from fans was overwhelming. Messages of support poured in, reminding Pumpkin that she wasn't alone in this journey. Her bravery in sharing her story had touched the hearts of many, and they rallied around her with words of encouragement and love. But beyond the public eye, Pumpkin faced the reality of her new life. The quiet nights without Josh, the challenges of single motherhood, and the lingering doubts about what could have been. There were moments of weakness when she questioned if she had made the right decision, if she had fought hard enough for her marriage. But deep down, she knew that she had done all she could. As the weeks passed, Pumpkin began to find her footing. She threw herself into being the best mom she could be, creating new routines for Ella and Bentley, and finding joy in the small moments. She also leaned on her family, especially her sisters, who had been her rock throughout this difficult time. In the end, Pumpkin's story wasn't one of defeat, but of resilience. She had faced the heartbreak of a broken marriage, but she refused to let it define her. Instead, she chose to embrace the uncertainty of the future, knowing that whatever lay ahead, she was strong enough to handle it. As she stood on that same porch, looking out at the world with new eyes, Pumpkin knew that she had made the right choice. The road ahead might be challenging, but she was ready to face it head-on, with her children by her side and the support of those who loved her. This was her time to rebuild, to rediscover herself, and to write the next chapter of her life on her terms.